because it's often been the case where I've played at events and they've just thrown my name on like a really poorly designed flyer, and I'm just kind of like,
because they don't really care about that. They want to like focus on the event and the music. Yeah,
but which is fine. It's completely. I'm completely cool with that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way I want to present myself, I'd rather put a bit more effort into that.
Makes sense.
Probably because of my design background as well. But they literally don't care. Like they'll just like things will be cropped, horrible, pixelated. I'm just like,
yeah, this is ugly.
Yeah, we're not coming across in a pro way here.
Welcome back to Creative Frequency. In this week's episode, we explore the intersections of visual storytelling, soulful soundscapes, and the endurance it takes to thrive as a multidisciplinary creative. From designing socially impactful campaigns to DJing for a global audience, he shows how curiosity, culture, and community guide his creative practice. With over 33 million streams online across YouTube and Mixcloud, he has taken his iconic mixes and sophisticated sets from established London venues to international stages. I'm joined by Piers, also known as Raphael, a multidisciplinary freelance designer, illustrator, DJ, and music producer. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Doing? That's such an amazing intro.
That's all you. That's all you.
I'm listening back like, wow, we did a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming. I know you're very busy as well, as all creatives are. I'm really excited to have you here and also to hear your journey and to share the additional insights for people that want to follow your footsteps.
Definitely.
So for those who are not too familiar or are learning about you now, where's your origin story? Where did it start and where you are now?
Yes, that's a good question. I suppose the origin story has always been in making things.
Yeah.
Always been in creating. My parents, particularly my mum and my grandparents, were always very open. They were always like, just draw, paint, do whatever. And for whatever reason, it just came quite easy to me. I didn't really have to think too much about it.
Yeah.
It was something I could just do, practice, and it would like keep me quiet. And I started to paint more. I started to draw more. I always knew that was what I didn't have to think about. You know, I literally was in the zone when I did that.
Yeah.
And then on the music side of things, both my parents were collectors and listened to so much good music. So I always, thankfully enough, always had great music in my ears from an early age.
Yeah, that's where it starts, you know.
Of course, yeah. It's your parents' collection, or whoever your carers are.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd spend ages going through their CDs, tapes, and stuff. And I think subconsciously it embedded into me when I was quite young. And then when I grew up, I started to almost go back to what I was hearing, or like recognize old tapes and CDs and samples and music. And then I knew I always wanted to get into DJing after hearing pirate radio and in my dad's car and stuff like that. And that was kind of the epiphany moment for me, where I was like, I need to take people on a journey through music.
Yeah.
But yeah, also getting more into like design. And so yeah, I think my background is probably more of an artist, more of like a painter, more of an illustrator.
Nice.
But yeah, I went into graphics and illustration, animation, while also pursuing music as well, DJing and producing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All self-taught, or did
pretty
you start?
Much.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I think I didn't really have any kind of formal lessons. I don't really know what I'm doing. I say it really like candidly, but I couldn't tell you what I'm playing.
Okay.
Like on piano and stuff, I don't know any music theory. It's just through ear, and what I've heard.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of YouTube, a lot of just kind of studying the greats, really. People I'm really inspired by, people that have made an impact on my life growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I'll often sort of just follow their movements, whether it's like DJing or videos or tutorials and stuff like that. But yeah, never had any lessons. I did play in a classical music orchestra
Oh,
when I, when
nice.
in primary school,
Yeah,
which was cool.
that's really cute.
Yeah, that was cool. Because that was like the first. Initially, I wanted to play drums. That was
Okay.
my sort of goal. But we didn't have a teacher at the time at the school, and I don't think my parents could sort of stretch to the cost of a tutor and a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So the school were like, you can play percussion in a classical orchestra if you like. So that was the next best thing. Initially, I was a bit bummed by that, but it actually ended up being super
Like fun.
super fun and integral to the way I count and hear music as well.
Nice.
So yeah.
Okay, lovely. So you've worked across design, illustration, animation, and print. What does storytelling mean to you across these mediums?
It's a good question. I think in previous jobs, I've had to sort of tailor it to meet a client's needs. So whether it's like a client brief that needs to be fulfilled, sometimes you have to kind of tailor it to what they want.
Mm-hmm.
From a personal point of view, I feel like I tell stories and almost use creative things, whether it's art, music. It was almost like a form of silent protest almost. So I have beliefs and values that I want to kind of instill in the world and show people, but I don't necessarily speak about it. I'll do it through the art or through the music.
Yeah.
And I think people can sort of see that and get that vibration and that energy from it, which is great. So that's always the story that I want to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And more so now, I want to tell that through design, through my own creative practice. And that I'm trying to sort of embark on that journey now with like-minded brands and people that want something more maybe, or something different. So yeah, that's kind of, I think it's so important because people buy stories and people are invested in stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're starting to see now more and more that's what sells and that's what people are interested in, rather than something they've seen before or something that's a bit sterile.
Yeah. What do you believe is the role of design when it's used as a way to shape culture and the way we interact with one another?
It's so important. I think it's so important because it can start movements. You know, it can encourage people to buy things or like to buy into ideas as well.
Yeah.
And just give things the proper platform to launch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so important, and I think people will see the value in it, and sometimes people don't see the value in it. But for me, it's really like integral in how you present yourself and how, whether it's a brand or just you or just as a person, it's so important.
It's so powerful as well, because if I think of brands that I use and that I really enjoy interacting with, there's always certain things that I look for, and then that's my first impression, and then I start looking into their values and what is it that they've done and are they truthful?
Exactly.
You know, stuff like that.
And it's also something that you come to know what to expect when you associate with this brand. So whenever I've always put myself out in a music sense or as Raphael, I've always kind of done it from a point of people would know what to expect. They'd expect sort of like quality, whether it doesn't matter the genre of music, they would kind of get a feeling, like a Raphael feeling or a sound. And that's what I've always done in my design as well. Yeah. And that's part of brand building.
Yeah. You're known for creating impactful and socially driven design. What does that mean specifically?
I think I try to always approach it from a perspective that might not necessarily be in the room.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've worked in a few different agencies and companies where, you know, there hasn't been many people of color, there hasn't been many working class people, and yet that's a demographic that we're all targeting, or that's what the project is sort of aimed at. Yeah. And the people that are designing or making the big decisions don't come from that background, so they don't understand it. So I think sometimes we miss a trick in that sense, and there's just kind of a lack of that in the design world, I think. So if ever I can get myself into those spaces, that's how I want to kind of make sure that the correct voices are heard, because I feel like it's a responsibility.
Definitely,
to do that.
Definitely. You had a exhibition as well at the Barbican, which is amazing. Can you take us through that journey and how it feels to like, you know, get recognition for your creative outputs?
Yeah, it was incredible. So this was, I think, just last year of uni, I think it was. I'd won a competition to redesign Greenall's gin branding campaign. It was to celebrate the sort of identity of being British, and what celebrating sort of British summertime and stuff like that, which you can go all different ways on. But my kind of thought was to do something where, because we had to highlight 3 different cities. I think one was Edinburgh, one was London, and one was Brighton. And then I stumbled across the idea of like train travel and the idea of British rail and the classic kind of holidays that people used to take in like 60s and 70s, and that kind of days out to the countryside type thing. And then I did a spoof, like a design spoof of a rail card, and like a classic sort of national rail card, and then flipped it with all the Greenhall's kind of color palette graphics, and put like an illustration on the back of them as well. And that was kind of the main kind of brand asset that I delivered. And yeah, it won.
That's really cool.
Won a competition, and it was exhibited at the in the green room in the Barbican, the sort of conservatory space, which was insane. And it was like a nighttime thing. I was like,
that's so
on
nice.
top of the world.
Wow.
There was a few other winners as well from different brands. So it was a great kind of coming together of just creative minds and stuff. And yeah, I'll never forget that. It was such every time I go back to the Barbican now, I'm like, I had some work on that.
Something there.
I had some work on that work. So yeah.
That's really cool. So did it give you like a specific brief, or was it like, this is we want you to do something for this brand?
Yeah. It was,
run with it.
That was it. It was it was Greenall's Gin was really the brand, and British summertime, celebrating British summertime was the kind of the key sort of headline.
Do you have any philosophies that you use or that you think of that informs your approach, especially when you're working freelance? And you know, there's so many designers in the space. It's so saturated. Like, how does that inform how you move and work differently?
It's tough. Like, it is a very sort of saturated space, it feels like. But I mean, even when I first started working at the house to now, to different agencies and companies, I've always tried to be a human, like be a person first, be someone that, you know, people want to be around, and that they give you energy, and it's not like a taxing thing. And that goes for like whether you're in person, on email, online, on calls. Like it all contributes to you being a person as well as a designer. And I feel like that's super important now in the age of AI and quick turnaround and stuff like that. I think I'm really just trying to be a person, I think, and come across well, and maybe hone in on things, opinions, backgrounds that aren't necessarily common in the space, like we talked about just previously. Trying to represent voices that maybe are not heard in these spaces for whatever reason. So yeah, I think that's what I always try to do.
How do you manage to stay creative, especially when you're in because you worked with agencies and now in-house? How do you manage to be free and creative when there are like systems in place? You know,
it's
you
tough.
have these like parameters. Is it parameters?
Parameters.
Parameters.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
say this wrong. Parameters. Wait, that you have to abide by.
You do. Yeah, you do.
And then how do you deal with that? Because I find that so hard.
Yeah, I couldn't.
To not just like, because everyone has a different way of like going through their creative process.
Of course. And there's no one size fits all.
Yeah.
But it's packaged in a way where it is one size fits all. You come in at 8 or 9, you sit here, you have your lunch, you come back, you leave at 5, 6, 7, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where you have your best ideas, which is not the case. Yeah. As a creative, you have ideas on your way in to the office, or first thing in the morning, or at night, or in the shower, on the toilet, when you're on a run. It's just not linear. And I think I've always struggled with that. Don't get me wrong, I will have ideas, or I will get inspiration when I am on company time. But it's just not linear. It doesn't happen like that for everyone. And a lot of creative people might be, like neurodivergent, or come from different backgrounds, have different ways of working. So you can't just put everyone in the same category. And that's where I feel like we're being limited, because we're not extracting the best results from people and getting the best out of everyone, because they're worried about where they have to be, or how they have to look or dress, or their appearance. So, but in terms of the systems and the rigidity of creativity, in those situations, I try and come home and do something like musical or creative to get my fix. Yeah. Because all day I'd be like repeating something, and it'd just be horrible. Yeah. And then I'd try and find that outside of work hours, if I could.
What can companies do in order to like support their creative employees in a way,
Yeah, I think companies can be a bit more trusting with creatives, and allow them to operate in a way that completely suits them, and perhaps not the rest of the company. I mean, everyone will kind of maybe say that should be applied to all fields, whether it's finance or accounting or creative or whatever, HR. But I feel like with creatives especially, you need your space and your time to operate to your best ability. Yeah. Because I don't think you can be your best version of yourself. Yeah. So I think companies can definitely just be a bit more trusting, a bit more flexible, and just sort of allow the creative to take control.
That makes sense. Yeah. Are you optimistic about the future of design and illustration and animation, especially with the rise of AI now?
Yeah, definitely. It's been something that I've thought about for a long time, and the future of it. But all of these things will be mostly powered by designers still. So designers will still power prompts or the program. So you still need like a human and thoughts and ideas to drive them. What I'm hoping is that these AI systems, whatever they are, help take away the mundane things for creatives, designers, musicians, artists, so that we can focus more on the actual,
the creative,
the art of doing the thing, whatever the thing is, so that we can spend less time on the mundane. Yeah, that to me is a dream world, and I hope that's where we can go, where we start having programs that can completely take over what we make, like replace art, like the Studio Ghibli thing and everything else.
I was going to bring that up, I think, the controversy.
Yeah, I think that then we're starting to kind of cross boundaries, and it's a bit of a slippery slope, because then it's like, well, what need do we have for artists and designers? Where's the integrity? Where's the value? Where's the kind of, in anything, if it becomes so accessible and readily available?
It's really scary. I think, I'm not sure if they ended up filing a lawsuit or something. I think there's something happening there.
I think something has to happen.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah,
makes sense.
That's my kind of take.
I guess now making a segue into music, because obviously you are a music artist, you're a music producer, you DJ. How did you fall in love with music? And do you remember a specific track or a record or a moment that sparked that journey for you?
Yeah. I feel like there was a series of moments growing up when
Okay.
I was really, really young that I refer back to. I have a newsletter on Substack where I sort of write about these things. But most articles on that, I've started with the origin, and the origin is my parents' car, or specifically my dad's car,
Hmm.
where he used to kind of have obscure tapes, random CDs from like DJ friends, and he had a massive like sound system in the back. So I had like a child seat,
Nice.
and I was just blasted by the sound,
Wow.
like bass,
That's
um,
crazy.
and it was just the best thing. And I think that is still in me to this day. And yeah, there's a few songs I can think back to. Um, in particular, the late great Roy Ayers. I used to listen to so much of his music um, growing up, and just happy memories being in the car on like road trips where we would extend the journey to finish the song or like finish tracks.
That's really
So that
nice.
was definitely one. And then the second is just when I was slightly older, listening to like London pirate radio, underground radio,
Mm.
and tuning in late night to hear DJs and hear songs mix into one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like that first time I sort of heard tracks mix into one another, it blew my mind. It
Nice.
really blew my mind because I was like, how on earth? Like, how are we able to kind of keep the vibration, keep the flow of a
Yeah.
track going?
Yeah.
And even now, I try to weave that into what I do in terms of telling the story and
Yeah.
taking people on a journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was radio, my parents, and Roy Ayers, really.
That's amazing. So that's where it started. And now fast forward to you being on stage, but also online,
Yeah.
creating a community, because you've cultivated a community with millions of streams and thousands of subscribers, followers, fans. How do you create that emotional landscape through your mixes?
Typically, I don't try to think about it too much, and that was the earliest stages when I first started uploading. I really didn't think about it too much. Like after college, I think it was the first one I did, like year 12 times, year 13 maybe. I was just listening to a bunch of mixes I really liked, and
Yeah.
I thought, I don't normally hear this music very much. It's not really in the limelight. It's not seen, but this music is such high quality,
Mm.
and people don't even know that they need it sometimes.
Mm.
And I just put it out there. I was like, let me upload it to. I didn't even know how to upload it to YouTube. I just got it up on there. One like basic image. I don't even think I had a track list or description or anything. I just threw it on, and yeah, some of those mixes are in the millions now, and that was roughly 10 years ago.
Okay.
So you build that community over time. You know, it
Mm.
doesn't happen overnight. I think that's part of the joy in it for me.
Yeah.
Is doing it over such a long time and growing up with the music, with the mixes,
Yeah.
and other people, the community have grown up with it as well.
Yeah.
They've often said, I was at this point in my life, I often did this at this point in my life, and I'm
I
like,
love
that's
that so much.
crazy.
Yeah.
And now they've got kids or they've got a family and stuff like that. So that's to have that kind of journey with people, that personal journey, is crazy, and I don't ever take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because I'm reminded about it every day. People always message and comment, and
I love that so
it's
much.
beautiful.
Especially as DJs, you don't realize that you're kind of like also creating a theme
Yeah,
of someone's like life or
exactly.
chapter in their life.
So important.
It's very powerful how music like, because I always see this when I'm like listening to mixes on YouTube or just like separate tracks
Yeah.
on YouTube, and I read through the comment
That's it.
section.
Yeah.
You say, "Oh, I was like in my 20s raving, and I noticed I met this guy at this."
Yeah.
You know, it's like stories like that. And
Exactly.
It's really amazing to like read that because yeah, people will be in their 50s and 60s, and then it will take them directly back to their 20-year-old self. That's crazy.
Exactly.
So I want to also like touch on genre blending, because you and how you approach it, because you mix R&B, you blend funk, soul, neo soul,
Hip hop, soulful house.
so many
Yeah.
genres, and it's just like very effortless, and I love that. But how do you still manage to keep your signature sound when you are like taking all of
Yeah.
these different time periods
Yeah.
and flavors and sounds and influences and making that one?
It's a really good question. I think it goes back to what I was talking about with the design stuff as well. I want people to, whenever they see my name or they see something that's come from me, they know it's going to have a certain quality about it
Yeah.
that, is kind of unmistakable, like a signature touch. Whether,
Hmm.
certain musicians and producers will have a signature touch where you don't know who it is necessarily, but you hear it come on, you're like, that sounds a bit like, that's where I want to
Mm,
be. Like that's where I want to get to. So people know,
mm.
oh, this design looks like it's come from Pierce, or like this music, this mix, that's a Raphael mix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So people just know that. And I think you can do that across different genres. It's
Mm,
possible to do that. Um, because it just needs to have a certain soul or a certain something about it. Um, and yeah, we've definitely built that, and it's been so good to see, where people just kind of, without even really listening to much of it, they're like, "I'm here,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
here, I'm supporting." So yeah,
yeah. How has DJing informed your work and design? Is there any overlap? Have you noticed any overlap, or even like working in design, how that then informs your DJing and your mixing and your
yeah,
maybe your track selection?
yeah, definitely. I think it goes back to storytelling. So
Mm,
like track selection is is important. I think, in
yes.
terms of taking people on a journey. Um, and we talked about storytelling before.
Hmm.
I always try and do that with my sort of design outputs as well.
Mm.
And that it goes even back to when I used to burn tracks onto CDs, like blank CDs.
Yeah, I've
Um,
done that too,
yeah,
actually.
like in
Yeah,
my early
yeah, yeah,
teens.
yeah.
And
Same.
I'd like get my PC, burn the tracks on, but I'd be curating the CD for a specific journey or for a specific time of day.
Okay.
Even back then, I didn't really realize it, but I was
Nice.
trying to sort of create a soundscape.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, like that element of storytelling does cross over, and now more so when I'm promoting events or speaking about events, I'll often be the one designing the sort of collateral, whether it's flyers,
Okay.
animation, posters,
Mm.
promo, social, stuff like that. So I like to kind of take the lead on that as well, which is great,
Hmm.
because again, it's like it all forms this picture, this brand, this vision,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, we know what to expect. It's of a certain quality.
Yeah.
Um, and I present myself in the way I want to be presented.
Yeah.
Because it's often been the case where I've played at events and they've just thrown my name on like a really poorly designed flyer, and I'm just kind of like, ah.
Because they don't really care about that.
They don't.
They want to like
Yeah,
focus on the event and the
yeah.
music. Yeah.
But which is fine. It's
Yeah.
I'm completely cool with that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the way I want to present myself, I'd rather put a bit more effort into
Yeah.
that.
Makes sense.
Probably because of my design background as well. But
Yeah.
they literally don't care. Like they'll just like things will be cropped, horrible, pixelated. I'm just like,
yeah, this is ugly.
yeah, we're not coming across in a pro way here. But yeah.
Yeah. I guess also that's part of your brand. That's part of, as you said, how you want to be represented.
Yeah.
How do you allow yourself to be experimental in a way, whether this is in design or in music, when you also want to like safeguard consistency? Like people have a certain perception of you.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that that's consistent. Do you allow yourself to be experimental?
Definitely. It's not always possible to be completely consistent with everything. Like it might not happen.
Yeah.
You don't always have control of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I often during a set, particularly if it's a longer set, and often if it's live, that is my sort of golden period where I like to experiment and do things on the fly. Like I never really prepare too thoroughly for like live sets and stuff like that when I play out. I kind of like to be in the moment with that.
Yeah.
Which has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
Like as someone that's pretty introverted and can get anxious about things, that kind of builds that. But it's only because I care about it. It's only because I want to make sure that it hits and it lands. But some of the best moments I've ever had when it's just been on the fly, like literally spontaneous.
Yeah.
And things can change. Like sometimes you can arrive at a venue and what you've prepared is like not right for the situation as well. The crowd is different. The vibe is different. So you're like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So I think that element of freeness and flexibility is essential.
Yeah.
For me anyway.
This made me think, I know when I'm currently on hiatus, but I also DJ.
Nice.
And I remember at the very, very early stages, I got so anxious that I would like, during my track selection, I would just write down name of the track, timestamp where I would mix the timestamp of mixing into a new track, like literally, and then I would come to the venue with my piece of paper.
I've
next
done that
to the
before.
decks. I'm like, okay, and I would just do this consistently, and people would look at me like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You have to stop." And then someone showed me in how I can do that in record box. So like then line it up. So you don't have to use your piece of paper. So you don't look like an amateur.
I've done that before.
It's just so funny that you evolve and you find different ways. And then, as you said, just doing it freely and not think too much. Like as long as the BPM is like, same range, you can play with that and just like not be too fixated on you want that specific track to line up with that track.
100%. Like, for a lot of my recording mixes, I still make notes. I still do like to make a note of what kind of works or what any thoughts I have during that time. I find like nothing beats a bit of pen and paper. But for the live situation venues, I've done that before in the past. And then I found a better workaround. Do you have any like influence, like artistic influences, but also people that have influenced and shaped your journey and the way you deal with music and how you approach music and design? Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's been so many like artists, DJs, producers that I've admired, who I kind of also do a lot of different things as well outside of their practice. There's so many. Like, I could mention so many. There's a guy in the States called Jared Jackson, who's a teacher, but also DJs. I love his kind of outlook on music and life. The balance between creative passions and your like 9 to 5 job. On the UK side, I've always been a huge admirer of At Jazz, who's an incredible producer. DJ who started off making music for video games.
Oh, nice.
And then sort of transitioned into sort of like soulful music, house, Afro.
That's also a massive industry, like music and video games.
Yeah, it is huge. It's massive. Also my parents as well, just the way they've collected music and listened to it. And there's so many in like in our scene in the UK, I think, which is so good. We have such a rich kind of, everyone is so talented. Everyone is doing a lot of different things and very well. So it's great to see.
Do you ever experience performance anxiety or like imposter syndrome? How do you deal with that?
That's a good question. It's a good question.
It's so common, but you never really hear people talk about it.
I deal with it all the time. I think literally every day, especially for events, for big events. In the lead up to an event, it will be on my mind again because I care about it so deeply. I want to do a good job. If I didn't get anxious, it means like your event ain't it. Like, it means like I'm not concerned at all.
Then you need to be worried.
If I'm casual, okay. But if I'm like quite tense
Yeah.
and anxious about it means I really want to do well.
Mm.
But thankfully, for me, every time I cue the first track or the first couple of songs get going,
You
everything
just
fades
ease in.
away.
Yeah.
Everything, literally everything fades away. I don't think about anything.
Nice.
It all disappears. And yeah, it completely goes.
Yeah.
And then it's like a reverse journey where I'm like on a high.
Yeah.
And like adrenaline's flowing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then more on the imposter syndrome, that kind of happens a lot when I'm speaking about my own design practice, when I'm trying to pitch to people, when I'm trying to sort of get myself into spaces I feel like I deserve to be in or I need to be in.
Yeah.
It's like, am I cutting myself short? Am I presenting myself in the correct way? Can I even do this? There's all these questions that pop up in my head. I get them a lot because I naturally think of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Chronic overthinker.
Okay.
So
how do you combat that?
Try to stay present. Try to just be in the moment as much as possible now.
Yeah.
What's done is done, and what kind of is in the future hasn't happened yet. So I try to make sure that I ground myself in the present as much as possible. It's easier said than done. Very much easier said than done. But yeah, the performance anxiety is a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've had, I still have performance anxiety. And when I have it, I recognize what you say about like the first couple of tracks. And then after it just, everything fades away. But I've also, it's funny because I always have that where I tell myself, if I played that track, all will be well. So it could be like the fifth track.
Yes.
And once I hit the fifth track, it's like, I'm
easy.
I'm easy now.
I don't know if you ever get this, but certain events I've done, I've often kind of gone back through them in my head after the event. I've almost like a highlight reel of, oh, was that transition good? I could have played that track.
Yeah.
I often I will be thinking about the set for a lot of days afterwards. That does happen quite a lot.
Yeah, I tried to not listen back.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless people are really like, oh my god, it was amazing, then I listen back.
Yeah.
But I have mixes that from years back that sometimes I listen back to, and then I can hear the mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you improve as you go every single time. Okay. Now, because obviously you do so many things, I want to touch quickly on sports. So you are also a marathon runner, a football coach. Just to talk about the sport element, what has sports taught you about your creative practice or vice versa?
So I find it quite similar to the music. Whenever I'm doing sports, whether it's football, running, tennis, my mind is clear at that time, whatever I'm doing. So it enables me to like stop thinking about whatever it is or stop kind of ruminating on things.
Yeah.
Which is good. So whenever I was in a like tough situation or creative block or struggling for ideas and inspiration, I found that kind of active sports time was very necessary and very key. And I still try to maintain it. I still try to maintain it now. Just to clear my head and do something different.
Okay.
I like to come away from the screen, like use my hands, like my limbs, my body to do something rather than just stare at a screen. So I mean, football's always been there since pretty much day one. Okay. Growing up, I played to a decent level and was quite into it for a while. And was lucky enough to play in some great teams growing up. But then I sort of found running a bit later on, and then the two kind of blended a bit more.
Yeah.
I had quite a severe injury, and then I couldn't play football for a while. So running was like the next best thing. Okay. And previously I used to always hate running because it meant often in football, it means pre-season, it means a lot of running, it means no football.
Okay.
Hard cardio endurance.
Okay.
And it was just, I just didn't enjoy it. But when I did it purely for my own benefit, something started to click, and all the kind of myths that I saw about runners high and the sort of feeling of running to music and
Mm.
as if you're actually, you're going to a target came true for me.
Okay.
And
That's
I
interesting.
never really looked back. I went straight in the deep end. I
Yeah.
was like running for maybe a few months. And I was like, let me do a London
marathon.
marathon in 2019. So
love that.
started at the very top pretty much. And that was an amazing day, a
Wow.
great experience. And a bucket list moment, I always wanted to do it.
Okay.
I always saw it and I was like, one day I'm gonna do that.
Love that.
And that's what I did. So,
Nice.
and we raised about £2,000 for Great Ormond Street Hospital.
Oh, wow.
Who were integral in my early life
Okay.
growing up. Basically saved my life. So I owe a lot to them.
Nice.
So yeah, and then after that, I sort of tapered it off. I did a half marathon. I'm doing a 10K in July this year.
Okay, that's exciting.
But there's something about the event, the people, the atmosphere, the feeling of other people who have trained so hard to be here. It's another level of like adrenaline and excitement.
The sense of community in a way as well.
100%.
Yeah.
And I used to get it a lot with football in terms of like the high and the clearing of my mind. But running sort of scratches a different part of that, I think. And as long as I'm fit and able, I want to try and keep that going.
That. Yeah. Is it a routine or like a ritual then to keep yourself emotionally grounded?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I think emotionally grounded. It's almost like when you clear your cache on your browser, your history.
No.
It's exactly
I have
that.
Too many tabs.
It's that in like human form, I find.
Okay.
Literally, go for a run, clear all cache data, bang, reset.
Yeah.
That's how it works for me.
That makes sense.
And I come back and I'm like, okay.
You're fresh, clear mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How do you approach rest and recovery then?
It's super important. In order to keep doing what I want to do in terms of the football and runs.
Yeah. But also like you wear so many hats.
Yeah.
Like you need to like have moments of rest and recovery.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard. It's difficult. Because again, there's always this nagging voice where I know a lot of freelancers and independents get it where it's like, I could be doing something. I should be doing something.
Yeah.
Am I wasting my time? And that's a new feeling I've discovered. I didn't have that when you're in a full-time job. Like you're waiting for the day to end. You're checking the clock, and then once it's done, you're done. But now it's completely a different story. So the sports side of things is definitely my rest, and the music digging and research is a good rest as well. I find those moments are when I'm quite relaxed and at peace. Yeah, so I have to make time to do those things.
To go back to music and also just like culture in general, community, you had a performance in New York, which is like a big thing. Actually, I don't want to reveal too much because I want you to reveal it. But can you share your experience and how that came about?
Yeah, so this was bucket list moment, something that I've been thinking about for years and years. I'm lucky enough to have great audience in the US, thanks to the music and the mixes. The amount of love that comes from stateside is incredible, and in particular New York, Atlanta, Chicago were the main kind of cities. So and South Africa as well were always like show so much love. I'll make it out to South Africa very, very soon. I guarantee it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But New York came first in that sense, where we were initially going to sort of link up with family and go to a wedding. But I thought to myself, I wanted to make it into more of an experience, So I was frantically emailing every restaurant, bar, club, venue.
Okay.
I was reaching out because we didn't really have that much time. We had a few weeks. Normally this stuff is planned way in advance. Yeah. So I reached out to Virgin Hotels in New York, which I've only been around for maybe like 2 years, I want to say. Okay. And I saw that they had a rooftop club. And I saw that their spaces were immaculate, like really amazing spaces, cafes, lobby areas, rooftops. So I just sent them an email. I was like, this is what I've done. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Who can I speak to? Can we jump on a call? Can we do? So for weeks, nothing happened. Like I followed up. And then eventually, Lindsay, shout out to Lindsay, got in touch,
Okay.
who's the programming manager at Virgin Hotels.
Okay.
I said, let's get on a call. So we got on a call, explained it. We did a second one. And by this point, all the flights are booked. Like I'm going to New York by hook or crook. Like it's happening.
Yeah.
But I wanted to perform somewhere. And then we had the idea of doing some kind of brand partnership.
Okay.
Where we'd film something with my videographer, Martin. Shout out to Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, if we could come over, we could film two sets in your like hotel locations of your choice, film it and edit it in a beautiful way. And I could upload it to my YouTube channel as a form of like promo. And they were on board with it. And so we filmed two sets, one in the sort of cafe lobby area, which is like hip hop soul. We filmed one on the rooftop, which is like a house set.
Okay. As
the sun is setting.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful view.
It was very, very cold. You see when it comes out, I'm suffering up there.
Oh, really?
But the music's fire, so it doesn't matter. And then the third set we did was a 5-hour just club night at the Riff Raff Club.
Okay.
Which was beautiful. That was 9 p.m. to 2 a.m.
Okay.
And the maddest thing was people came from out of state to see me play. People came from Philadelphia, Rhode Island, Atlanta, all the way up to New York to see.
That's amazing.
Me come all the way from London. I still can't believe it. It's
amazing.
Still crazy to think people like I've listened again, like we were speaking about. I've listened to your mixes. I've done these life moments and stuff. So to see it in person, was just insane because all these people you see as a comment or as a DM or an email, these were in real life. You know, they were here, they were supporting. I was speaking to them. So
that's beautiful.
So it was
like also you're so business savvy. Like you are on it. You're like following up, reaching out to people.
Yeah. Shout out to Frances as well. She helped me a lot with that.
Okay.
But you have to do it. You have to do these things for them to happen. So she had the idea of the kind of like brand partnership and stuff. But I had to keep on it. I was like, this is a goal of mine. It needs to happen. I couldn't not go to New York and play some music. It had to happen.
Yeah.
So
well done.
I'm blessed that it did. And we shout out to Virgin, Martin, Francis, Lindsay, Christine. Everyone did so well on that project. So yeah.
Is that advice that you would give anyone? Like because you hear it all the time, like put yourself out there, but how does put yourself out there actually look like?
Yeah. I'm still wrestling with it myself. I still don't really know what that looks like. So I just was trial and error. It's just been a lot of trial and error, really. Sending out emails, trying my best to get a response, get a bite from people.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you know, it's so difficult. And I have no business kind of qualification. I don't really.
You don't need it, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm like, do you need it? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just trial and error and trying to have faith and be disciplined.
Yeah. And also being nice.
That's it. Nice, just be a human, kind, be a person.
Yeah, that takes you a long way. You have over 120,000 followers. No, sorry, subscribers, but also fans. As you said, people in all of these different countries.
Yeah.
How do you build trust with your audience? Like, how do you create that sense of community online when you're, in London?
In terms of, it's tough. It's tough because the audience is so spread out and so international.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing thing in itself because it means I can go to New York and see people and they come to see a show. But kind of growing that in person is difficult as well because in London, it's difficult to kind of like get everyone together and and for events and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
logistics, costs. That's a whole other side of the game.
Yeah.
Programming, marketing. Whereas as I say, I just want to focus on doing the thing. Like whether it's the mix, the music or the design, that's where I want my full focus to be. But I've kind of had to try and dip into this events management promotion side of things, which is a grey, murky water for me currently.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to like navigate it really.
Yeah.
But in terms of what I put out, it always kind of passes like the quality check. I think I don't really appease or put things out just for the sake of the algorithm or the machine or to keep people like interested.
Yeah.
I'll do it as and when I feel like it, really. And that's always what I've done since day one. Okay. And that's why I'm where I am now. You know, I've never rushed anything. I've never tried to like follow too much of a trend, I suppose. I've always just done like what I felt inside. Yeah. What resonated with me and put it out into the world.
Just quality over quantity.
I think so. Really I think so. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's how you build a bit of that the trust and consistency, I suppose, and people know what to expect. That's why I'm kind of, I get quite particular with events and things like that, just to make sure that it comes across in a good way.
Yeah. Would you do something differently looking back? Would you do anything differently? Or are you happy how things turned out? Because obviously all of these things that you've done in the past led you to here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's true.
Is there something that you would have done differently looking back?
I'm not sure. I don't think I would have. I think maybe I would have been more, I would have put my foot down and put myself in people's faces a bit more, possibly, in terms of like events and in the kind of scene in London and around the world. Would have tried to maybe connect with more promoters and stuff like that. But even then, like, I'm not really too fussed about that because I feel like that will come. The correct people will see that. And it's just kind of a matter of time, really. Yeah. But I wouldn't have changed much at all. Okay. I'm really like happy with where the channel is and where the community is at this stage.
How do you because obviously it's called creative frequency. Yeah. How do you enter your creative frequency?
Well, that's such a good question. I think it can come in different zones, different areas, different times. I'll enter. I think the greatest one for me is mid set or mid mix, where everything's just flowing. You're not even conscious, and people are moving, dancing, whatever. You feel like you belong, and you're doing what you love. That's for me like the highest creative frequency. That does happen when I'm like painting or in design as well, where the ideas are just kind of flowing. You're not conscious. Yeah. You're not really trying too hard to think about things. Yeah. And I personally find it so difficult to know when that's going to happen sometimes. So it's not like it's time to hit my creative frequency. Yeah. It can happen at just really random times.
That makes sense.
And sometimes those are the best when you don't expect it.
Yeah. So, how do you prioritize your creative well-being, especially when you're also working as a designer for someone else? Like, how do you balance that with your own creativity and finding ways to be more inspired?
Yeah, I'll try to, if the work I'm doing is not really scratching that creative itch or is not, very mundane and dry and I don't believe in it, I'll try to find that somewhere else in my own life. Yeah. So I'll go home, go to a museum or a gallery or an event or a gig, and that will often help kind of reset things. But I often struggle to do that because the working on things I don't believe in and things that I really dislike drains me massively. And I do end up being quite exhausted just by the whole kind of keeping up with the mask and the small talk and all of that.
Yeah.
I find it really, really draining.
It's draining.
So when I come home, sometimes I don't necessarily want to engage with anything. I just want to do something that's like brain dead.
Yeah.
Which is the easy option and the comfortable one.
Yeah.
But doesn't necessarily kick me out of the funk as much as jumping on the decks might.
Yeah.
Or forcing myself to go to a exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the act of working on something you really don't like with people you don't necessarily mess with. It's quite exhausting.
Yeah.
And that's what I found in the past year or two is something that really I have to pay attention to.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're pivoting into music. You want to do more of that.
Yeah, I'd love to put more into that side of things and then put more into my design work, but for the right things and the right people and get recognized and sort of, work with great people.
Mm-hmm. I always do this ritual with every guest on the podcast, which is, do you have a piece of wisdom or a mantra or a quote, or it could be a different art form or art piece or a memory? It can be anything that you resort to when you have, a low moment or like something that's creatively, like, I would say when you're creatively constipated. where do you go to like, lift your spirits?
I think the answer for me often lies in music. That scenario. Okay. There will be a few tracks that I will listen to that will kind of either soothe that kind of pain or fix it, literally will make me kind of look at things a bit differently, or just kind of, it's weird. Like I'll turn it on and like my brain, something just like happens where the chemicals kind of shift. And I don't know whether it completely fixes the situation, but it sometimes like soothes it. And that kind of comes in crossing in my mixes as well, where I'm like, it sort of helps ease that pain a little bit or helps kind of flush things out. So for me, that often lies in music and being with people I love as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's family, friends, that does, like, having a different opinion, different bits of advice, having different perspective on things as well is super important because what you see is not necessarily what you might see or what someone else might see.
Yeah.
So that helps kind of round the opinion a bit more. So you're less in your head about things. And then sort of mantra in life is really just try and, it sounds very cliche, but I really think it's do you, be yourself in everything that you do, how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Because there is no one like you. Like it's very
it's
very basic, but
no, that makes sense.
You have to be yourself. Like, really, if you try and flex and pivot and bend to be someone else, I think it will catch up with you eventually. And I was doing that for a while, and I'm trying to step out of that now.
Yeah.
Because the world needs the best version of you.
Yeah. Totally agree. And also when people say, oh, I don't know what niche I am, or, I don't know what category I can fit my work in, like you are the niche. Yeah. People will come to you because they see something in you or resonate with something that you align with. That's your niche.
Yeah. Because how can people know about you if you don't present yourself?
Yeah.
Like in your truest way.
Yeah.
They'll come to you for something else that's not even you, because that's what you've been presenting.
Yeah.
And again, I'm still wrestling with that now. Like I'm still trying to unlearn a bit of past ways and habits and bring that forward into my life now. But yeah, so true.
Do you have any final thoughts? Anything that we didn't touch that you're like, yeah, definitely need to mention this before we part ways?
Off the top of my head, I don't think so.
Okay. Where can people find you then if they wanted to like still find out more about what you're doing?
you can find me on YouTube, at Raphael with a PH, everything with a PH. On Instagram, Raphael's World. I write a newsletter on Substack called Heart and Soul.
Nice.
Which is more of these kind of thoughts, more of these kind of more behind the music, reflective thoughts.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can find some of my artwork on my website as well, Pierce Victor Design.
I'll also link it in the description so people can find it.
Yeah, there's a bit of me everywhere, I feel like. But yeah, it's I'm enjoying the process.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. This was such like an explorative journey of like
Definitely.
learning a bit more about you, the person behind the music, behind the decks, but also behind the design. So yeah, I'm very thankful to have this conversation with you. And for those who want to know more, as I said before, I will put everything in the description. Make sure to check out the Substack if you want to learn more about the behind the scenes stuff, and definitely go and listen to your mixes because your mixes are incredible.
Thank you
and
so
I
much.
still I'm still on a high every time I think of the Juby.
Jumbie, is that?
Jumbie.
Yeah.
This is me chopping everyone's name, but yeah, the Jumbies mix that you did in Peckham, that was incredible as well.
Thank
I
you
really
so
loved it.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure
Thank you.
to be on.
Yay, we're done. It's done.
Amazing.